Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wow. What a game. Wow. Bear with me as I try to share this out, as this is an impromptu live stream today. Normally, I would do a loser support group, but today, we get to do a um, instant reaction celebration support group, winners support group tonight. Woo! Wow. Bear with me again. Let me share this out because if you don't mind, if you're watching right now on Facebook or YouTube, help me out. Help me out. Share it out because I'm surprised I even have a voice, to be honest. Whew, wow. I wanted to get your reaction. I wanted to get your reaction on the game. I'm just going to share it here on Twitter. Got a lot of new people on Twitter. Wow. Let me see if I can share my screen too, because I'll try to put up some of the stats in the game. Wow. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try to share the screen. Put the stats up. Let's see. Irie gets in. Man, that game was too close. Wow. Woo! What a game. What a game. Here we go. Live stats here. Let me pull them up. What's going on? I can't. I'm not. It's not letting me share the screen. It's ridiculous. Share the screen. What's going on? I should. Here we go. Now it's working. Wow. Wow. Let me move around some of the stuff here. Wow. Tyree gets in, says, man, that game was too close. Clemson wins 51-45 in Wake Forest today in double overtime. Woo. Crazy. Jacob on Facebook says, Ella was our angel on the gridiron today. Ella. Rest in peace, says Sean McDonough says, rest in peace, Ella. Brian didn't. I wouldn't say necessarily Brian Brissy had the greatest game until towards the end, to be honest. But man, did he do what was needed at the end. He says, "Wow is right, Morgan." I mean, I can't understate that enough, man. It's way more than wow. Woo! What a game. I mean, I don't even understand it. 51 points, having to win by 51, um, is crazy. I mean, having to score 51 points to win is what I'm trying to say is absolutely nuts. I would never have thought Clemson, one, could really score 51 points, two, beat somebody with their defense playing the way they did. I mean, I really, wow. As I'm sharing to Facebook here, bear with me. Clemson versus Wake Forest. Rapid reaction. Yep. Get some more people in here on Facebook and YouTube. If you don't mind, hit the like button so we can get some more people in. My voice is going away because I screamed literally the entire fourth quarter, which I said as much on Twitter. I was trying to be calm, to be honest with you. I was trying to be calm, and that went out the window, to be honest. I mean, you can't be calm at the end of the game like that. It was nuts. Um, Again, Clemson wins 51-45. DJ goes 26 of 41. 26 of 41. What is that for DJ? 26 divided by 41. 63.4%. 63.4%, I mean, is amazing for DJ. Oh, the percentage is right there. I don't need a math. I don't need a calculator. Quarterback rating of 179.7. 371 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. That's the kind of game that you expect from DJ or any quarterback from Clemson, really on the regular. We've been very, very spoiled. Wow. The Clemson defense, which basically couldn't do much at all game, comes up big at the end in overtime. Almost did, worked out well for them to go into overtime. A couple of people messaged me and said, "Why is Dabo sitting on the ball? Why is he doing that? Why is Dabo sitting on the ball and playing for overtime? They need to try to win it." Well, first of all, I felt like it was difficult field position at the end in the fourth quarter. It was difficult field position, not a lot of time left, less than a minute left. And then on top of that, um, like I said, I think your chances are with your defense not having to play so much of the field, it actually worked out for them. Sam Hartman, we knew is a great quarterback. The wide receivers for Wake Forest are some of the best in the nation as a whole. A.T. Perry could be a starter on Clemson's team right now. Donovan Green could be a starter on Clemson's, offense right now. So, and even their third wide receiver, I'm looking at the Banks. Yeah, Banks guy, 141 yards, 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns. He could be on Clemson's team right now too. And I'm talking like regularly starting. Huge, huge win for the Tigers. Conference win, division win, ranked win, road win, everything lumped together. Overtime win, defensive stop, offensive just powerhouse back and forth. Again, like Dabo Swinney said, this is the kind of football you want to see from 2 ranked opponents. Let me go through the chat here and let's get you in. Again, Tyree giving you a shout out. Thank you, Tyree, for always being a part of the show. Man, what a game. Was too close. Jacob on Facebook says Ella was our angel on the gridiron today. After the game, man, did you see Brian Bressee's dad? He was fired up. But he says, "Wow is right, Morgan." Roger Long says, "Honestly, at first I was afraid. At first I was afraid. I was petrified." Let me tell you something. Wow. Wow. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Wifey texted me right now. Wifey's texting me. I watched this game by myself because she had a baby shower, okay, and a friend of ours who had been struggling to have children for so many years finally got pregnant and with twins of all things, and they had a baby shower today. So Audrey went to that. She said she just texted me and said, "Thank goodness I can come home now." Wow, wow. I would go through and start doing my chart right now if you guys want. I would start doing my passing chart for DJ. He lit up the middle of the field. All the flack we gave Brandon Streeter and DJ and for the middle of the not using the middle of the field against Louisiana Tech. He used the middle of the field this time. And it worked out great, which kind of goes back to what the fans have been saying is use the middle of the field because it works. It will work if you just use it, if you just go with it. Peanut Butter J on YouTube. I should do this show like Gus Johnson. Peanut Butter J on YouTube. What a game. course, I'm going to lose my voice definitely if I do that. DJ threw to 8 guys today. Was great. Was great. Let's look at the stats here. Receiving, Brenning Stool, 6 receptions. Ngata, 4 receptions. Collins, 4 receptions. Allen, 4 receptions. Antonio Williams, 4 receptions. Will Shipley, 3. Spector, 1. And EJ Williams, 1. Brenning Stool, big time Brenning Stool with a touchdown. Davis Allen, your tight ends accounted for 3 of 5 touchdowns. Your tight ends, ladies and gentlemen, your tight ends for the Clemson Tiger offense accounted for 3 out of 5 touchdowns. Crazy, crazy stat there. DJ played his butt off. Myron Kell Brown over on Facebook, 371 yards, 52 yards rushing, a 23-yarder. Longest pass play, 46 yards to Ngata. DJ played his butt off. Let me tell you something. He deserves us to get off his freaking back now. After tying the game with a guy holding his leg up to his shoulder pads, he deserves us to get off his back. DJ has shown that he could step up when he needed to against a ranked opponent playing an away game. He's put last year behind him, and we should too. What more do you need from that performance from DJ Uiagalelei? Better figure out his name if you can't say it. I'm trying to say it. DJ Uiagalelei. Ship had his day today as well. Awesome game. Over 100 yards rushing, 5.2 average. Still a lot of people out there doubting Shipley. I get messages all the time. Shipley's not that fast. He got ran down. The guy broke off a 53-yarder, and the first thing you want to send me is that he's not fast enough? Get out of here. Yes, there is only one Travis Etienne. Are we that spoiled? I'm sorry. I'm talking to one specific person here, not all 30 people that are watching. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for joining in on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going through the chat. It's all about you. We need to get healthy at cornerback like yesterday, Myron says. Yes. I mean, to be honest with you, we can beat up the cornerbacks. And my thing is, again, it was the perfect storm. You had the best wide receiver core in the ACC, probably one of the best in the country, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and in an offense that they're all familiar with at their home stadium. It was the perfect storm for you as a defense to have to go against that, because especially in the secondary, they told us Makuba was just going to put a brace on his shoulder for that dislocated shoulder. I seen a dude in AEW dislocate his dislocate his elbow. Not something you can just bounce back from tomorrow. Makuba, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with him? They said he's going to put a brace on, but a dislocated elbow is serious. It's not just something you just come right back out. It's weird. It's different than a shoulder. It's weird. So, I mean, Makuba out. Who else was out? Sheridan Jones been out. Hip flexor thing, right? You've got true freshman, even though he's a 5-star true freshman, having to make that jump from high school, Malden High School, to professional to college football. And not only that, I mean, he's getting put in the fire against Sam Hartman. Who would want that? It'll be very difficult. If you're a coach, if you're Mike Reed, today was not the day you wanted to play your freshman. So please, on Twitter, I get it, but don't beat them up. I mean, they're young. They're young, and they actually do pay attention to our tweets, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. Tyree, we got a lot to fix. That's true. I mean, there's no doubting that. Jacob, honestly, I'd be in the hospital at 22. I should be in the hospital at 22. Man, I'm 42 and feel like 72. That's what kind of Dabo Sweeney said. Yeah, he aged like 10 years. DJ looked like a top QB today, I'm thinking, is what Trick Live TV says on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button if you don't mind. Share with a friend if you can. Proud of DJ, really proud of him. Spreaded the ball around, run game got going, O line held up. Brian's first game back was amazing. Kevin says, forget the beer and pizza. I need nitroglycerin. I keep getting these repeat comments here on my side. But Billy says, doesn't matter if you're third or fourth string, you need to know the fundamentals. Uh Horrible coaching by the DBs on the DBs. Well, I mean, it's Mike Reed. You know, he has a history of being a great coach. He has a history of putting guys in the NFL. Again, I I I'm I'm not 100% in agreement with this because you have this is not the game you want to play your starter. I mean, your freshman. It's just not. You Sam Hartman is a good quarterback. You know, the wide receivers for Wake Forest are good. It's not one of those games where they should have known better. I mean, I get it. They're fundamentals for sure. It was extremely frustrating for them to pick on Nate Wiggins, but you really had nobody else to even put out there. Who are you going to put out there? What other cornerback is out there? They're so beat down injury wise, and they're not very they don't have a lot of depth, and experience there. Who else do you put out there? You you put Lucas, you put Pride, you put Wiggins. Those guys haven't played much. If you paid attention to my Morgan ratings, the secondary is a huge concern for Clemson's defense going into the season. I made a Madden version of Clemson's defense and offense, and I rated them what I thought Madden would rate them, or NCAA, football would rate them, EA Sports. And to be honest with you, the secondary outside of Andrew Makuba is pretty green. Shipley not picking up the blitz, same problem Travis had. Big Mick says, still don't know why they are throwing the ball to wide receiver screens. They need a much quicker wide receiver to take that pass. I mean, I feel like they have Antonio, right? But Shipley not going to take it to the house. I I get it. I mean, a lot of people want to be Christian McCaffrey or Travis Etienne once over, repeat. Maybe he doesn't take it to the house, but don't tweet me after a 53-yard run and say, "I told you Will Shipley was slow." Come on. Are you that kind of fan, really? Are you that kind of fan? D-line was not that effective today. Yeah. I felt like they got a lot, I felt like Wake Forest kind of bunched them together. Like the idea was to kind of just mush everybody together. And so they kind of like piled on top of each other. Steven says, I need a Valium. Big Mick says, I think the corners did great. Lots of film work. I don't think they did great. I mean, hopefully you're joking on that, Big Mick. The corners did not do very well at all. Um, you know, yeah, the corners to me, have a lot of work. But the thing is, we kind of knew that, right? Like I said, I'm not trying to say that anybody is right or wrong. I'm just saying we kind of knew that. We knew outside of Sheridan Jones. I mean, Fred Davis hadn't played much. Lucas Pride, Koval, freshman. Nate Wiggins hadn't played much at all. And you know how everybody talks about Dabo Swinney pumping up those guys in the spring? You know, you hear a lot of that pump up stuff from Dabo. It kind of makes you concerned. He pumped up Nate Wiggins a lot, and Nate got exposed a lot tonight. I think the problem with Nate Wiggins is he couldn't get out of it. It was like a black hole, It was like every single play, Sam Hartman and A.T. Perry and Banks were going to pick on him every single play. And it was just like a nightmare over and over. And then it got to the point where Wiggins, I think, got frustrated and just started grabbing. Same thing with Fred Davis, just got frustrated, started grabbing. They needed that long drive, that 7-play long drive from DJ, which he gave them, which I tweeted and I said, this is the time for DJ to step up, tie the game. And this is the time for Mike Reed to take his players aside and calm them down, because all they were doing, I mean, at that point, they were doing nothing but pass interference almost every other play. Warm biscuit. Ooh, warm biscuit. Is that a good thing? After you dislocated, it swells. Only people watch a bunch of movies think you go back right normal after that. Well, I'm not saying any fan said that, but Dabo did come out and say, "Oh, he's just going to put a brace on it." And it seems like it's a lot more to that. We shouldn't be one man deep at corner. Yeah, well, it seems like it, right? Let me pull up my sheet here on Twitter. The 2022 roster for corner. You got Sheridan Jones. He was out. Fred Davis, Malcolm Green, who is your nickel corner, so he's not an outside corner. So really, we've only got Fred Davis, Nate Wiggins, who are your two starters. That's it. That is it. Outside of your true front, you have literally two. So Kevin, I know we shouldn't be one man deep at corner, but they are. They are. Sheridan Jones, Fred Davis are your two, the senior and junior, and Sheridan Jones is gone, or not gone, but he was out. So you had Fred Davis, Nate Wiggins, who's a sophomore and has not really played. And after that, it's Lucas, Pride, and Oliver, Oliver is injured. So you've got Lucas and Pride. That's it. You have nobody. With Sheridan Jones out, Malcolm Green at nickel, you literally have four players in corner. You're too deep at cornerback. That's it. There's no other option. It's bad. It's that bad at cornerback. I'm sorry to say that. I hate to say that, but it's that bad at cornerback right now. I'm going to put dead Fred Davis on the block. Got to step his game up. I'm all for calling guys out to get them to step up. Trenton Simpson got hurt too. Man, we are banged up. Oh, don't talk about it, Myron. Don't talk about it. I'm going to pretend like none of that stuff happened. It's a win. Just be happy, Steven says. Peanut Butter says facts. Facts. Mike has taken his time with the corners, but they got to jam those big receivers at the line, Big Mick says. DJ did well, but I was glad to see the receivers catch the ball. Wow, man. I mean, again, Brenning Stool, huge game. Ngata, some big catches. Collins catching that dime on the sideline. What a catch. What a catch. I can't wait to go through the passing chart. Last few years, don't worry when we're down in the game. Sweeney's teams just figure out a way to win. That is really the difference between a team that wins a championship and a team that just goes to a bowl game, really. Winning games like this. Big Mick, Wake has the best receivers in the ACC. Myron, I still have a good feeling about the NC State game. Will we be ready? Go Tigers. Tyree says we need to get Allen some more touches. The tight ends, I'm assuming, were big contributors. Of course, yes. More tight ends. Do you agree with Tyree? I agree. More tight ends. Billy said, didn't say replace him. Separation 3 yards of line of scrimmage, not watching the ball. Someone isn't getting coached. I think, Billy, when it comes to, you could see Mike Reed frustrated. I agree with you on that. You could see Mike Reed frustrated. It's kind of one of those things where maybe the moment was too big. You know how Coach 30 says, moment was too big, pissed your pants, pissed your leg. Moment was too big. That's like Coach 30 on Twitter. He could definitely do that on Clemson's cornerbacks. Oh, man. I got to be honest with you. I think Billy, I look back at Mike Reed sometime and I just think he was just throwing his hands up. The guys are so young. So young. I mean, Ben Buller came out on Twitter and said he would be hot. Warren Biscuit said, you definitely did those Madden ratings and was on the money. I mean, I tried to be as accurate as possible as my opinion could be. D-line definitely took care of business in overtime. They needed some fire. It seemed like they were kind of fat boys out there for 4 quarters. And then in overtime, they stepped it up. It really did. I don't mean to be mean about it, but it seemed like they were loafing around for 4 quarters and then all of a sudden decided to do something about it. And a lot goes to that offensive line of Wake Forest. I talked bad about them on the radio. I talked bad about them on YouTube. I talked bad about them all week. I talked bad about them ever since last year in the Valley when they got bulldozed all game. 7 sacks last game. How many sacks this game? Let's see. Where's the scoring? That's the scoring, drives, defense. 3 sacks for Clemson, 1 sack for Wake Forest. 3 sacks. The defensive stats up here on the board for you. I'll take Ship not going to the house for him to be pounding the ball in the end zone like he did. Man, what an extension. What a like a got hit on his back and spun around and then extended out. They said, "Oh, maybe his elbow was down." No, it wasn't. It worked. Our secondary is trash. You know, Billy mentioned a little bit earlier about the coaching. I feel like I said, I mean, you know, the moment too big, moment too big. But Nate Wiggins at the end though. Nate Wiggins at the end, number 20 and number 9 at the end, put that ball down. Until Wiggins turns and faces the ball, then we win. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Yeah, Kevin. Kevin, I was a little bit ahead of you there. Nate Wiggins made the winning play. Yeah, I'm ahead of all you guys now. Sorry, I guess I'm behind. Excuse me, I'm behind because y'all are like, there's like 47 comments. I'm behind. I'm gonna have to speed this up here. Everyone who doubted DJ was dead wrong. QB is not the weakness for the Tigers. Who would have said that preseason? Couple that with solid front seven on defense, things are looking good for Clemson going forward. Young DBs grew up. I think if anything, Johnny, it can't it can't be a bad thing that they went through this. You know, it can't be a bad thing. It really can't. Those freshman corners, West was limited at stunts, limited the play calling because of the corners that you had. Yeah, I think Goodwin started to realize that he couldn't do the things he wanted to do because of the exposure he was giving to his cornerbacks. That's for sure. DJ played great. Proud of Spector. Been a long ride for him. I agree with Tyree. Billy Sigmund says Nick Saban would have passed out. What do you think about that? Nick Saban would have passed out in that game. You know, Nick Saban's a big like secondary guy. I tend to agree with you, Billy. I think that Nick Saban would be having a heart attack. We would probably be down one legendary coach after a game like that if Alabama, which by the way, Alabama hasn't always been, you know, they have problems in the secondary. I mean, Clemson has torched them, you know, in the past. So, you know, I like Reed for the record. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I mean, I think it's just like I said, I think it's just a perfect storm. I don't think anything you're really saying is wrong. I don't agree with everything, but I would say it's just a perfect storm for some of these guys. They got away with a ton of holding too that will go ignored. Pride had a bad game. I mean, it kind of goes back to what Big Mick said. You know, I think it was Big Mick, but any kind of walking away from this with a win is good, but then any kind of experience you get out of this is crazy good. I mean, for the secondary, I mean, in the moment, almost gave me a heart attack. But looking back, the fact that they can walk away with a win and have a ton of film on how to get better, and these freshman guys, they have a ton of snaps now. But again, if you look at the sheet, man, if you look at the sheet, I'm gonna see if I can. I don't know. Let me see if I can share another. Am I able to share another tab at the same time? Hot dog. I can share 2 tabs at once. Look at this. Look at this. I'm learning new things as we do this. Let me zoom in here. This is our depth chart, okay? Which I haven't taken out the guys that have transferred or left the team. But look at this cornerbacks here. Get your cornerbacks. Sheridan Jones, senior. Cornerback Fred Davis Jr. Cornerback Malcolm Green Jr. Again, Malcolm Green's really used in a nickelback situation. Sophomore Nate Wiggins. You've got 4 guys that are not true freshmen. And of the 4 guys, 1 is a nickelback. So you really have 3 cornerbacks that are outside cornerbacks that are not true freshmen. Then you have your senior who has a hip flexor and didn't play. So now you have 2 cornerbacks that are not true freshmen, and that's it. That's scary, and there's really no way around it. There's no, "Oh, somebody's gonna come back and get healthy." There's no, "Oh, well, they'll be available later on in the year." No, that there's no way around it. These guys gotta grow up. They gotta grow up, and a game like this is gonna do anything but help them. Big Mick says on YouTube, "This team grew up today. They did not quit. I'm very impressed with their complementary play from special teams, defense, and offense. Great team win." I'm not saying Will now William Murray says, "Stop saying people were wrong about DJ. He just got better. Enough already." I don't think anybody was wrong about DJ. I mean, when you look back at last year, it is what it is. But as I said on August 1st, I said, "I'm giving DJ a blank slate." And a lot of people said, "No, no, I'm done. I'm done. Done with DJ." I mean, at this point, you have to say, "Hey, maybe I'm not done with DJ. Maybe I'm not done with DJ now." Um, Did he get better? Yeah. Did I say that he lost 30 pounds? Did I say that he went to elite QB training? Yes. Did I say that when I saw him in scrimmage, he was more mobile and it was it was allowing the offense to get open, other players to have, it was adding another point of attack that they didn't have last year? Yeah. Um, were the fans wrong about DJ? No. In November, I said Cade Klubnik would probably be the starting quarterback. Cade Klubnik was be the probably starting quarterback by Halloween of 2022. So I was wrong. I mean, I was wrong about that prediction. Was I right about how bad DJ was? Yeah, DJ was not even a top 100 quarterback last year. He was bad. But what I'm saying now is, um, it's time to say, hey, you know what? The man stepped up today. The man stepped up today. I mean, 63%, 5 touchdowns, almost 400 yards passing. And when the moment where he was playing from behind with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, when the defense had just given up a ton of pass interferences and let the Wake Forest offense march down the field, DJ stepped up. I'm looking at that drive. I think, let's see, 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter right here. You see it right here. This is, I feel like, a huge play. I feel like it was huge. Um, 3rd quarter, he took 4 minutes off the clock. These 2 plays right here, back to back, 11 minutes off the clock, right? Or no, time of possession. So 3 minutes off the clock and 5 minutes off the clock. Big time. Big time there. I guess I'm missing the time. Drive ended. Okay, drive started. Okay, I'm seeing it now. I don't look at this chart much. So drive started 7:47, ended 4:29 with a touchdown. Started at the end of 3rd, and they held the ball. These 2 drives right here, critical, I think, to allow the defense to reset. And they got 2 touchdowns out of it. Huge. No, I'm with you. I'm with you, William Murray. I thank you, man. I appreciate you being a part of the show. Um, you're right, though. I mean, DJ was bad. This game, I mean, how can you not say that he hasn't proved himself? I mean, how can you not say that? I know you're not saying that, but I'm just saying in general. Hoping we get an offensive coordinator right now. Huffer Billy says that. What do you think? He also says, I hope we get a new defense coordinator. So Huffer Billy Paul wants to get rid of the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator after this game. 51 points up on the board. You want to get rid of the offensive coordinator. I don't know. 51 points on the board. You saw DJ mature. You saw the offense go for 559 yards, and you say your offense is bad. It hung with one of the best offenses in the ACC and beat them. And you want to say new offensive coordinator. Now, were there some frustrating plays here and there? Yeah. I don't understand the constant running up the middle on a delayed handoff that never works. I don't understand that at all. Okay, Paul says he doesn't want to get rid of Streeter. But then you said, I hope we get an offensive O coordinator. So previously he said, hoping we get an O coordinator now. Then he says, hoping we don't get rid of Streeter. So you want him to be demoted. Oh, okay. All right. He's saying D coordinator. All right. O and D. They're on opposite sides of the keyboard there, Paul. I'm just messing with you. Steven says, I know we didn't look on defense, but it's a win. Whew, it's a win. That's for sure. Toby, my friend, says 7:30 game day next week. Did they already come out with that? 7:30 game? 7:30 game now? Is that what we're seeing? I think they're going to be a 7:30 game for Paul. Hey, I don't mind that, man. You got to be you got you know what? After that game, man, I mean, after that game, woo, I know everybody is hyped after that game. You think that Lee Corso was jinxing us? Clemson 5 for 5 in the red zone. It didn't feel that way. Offensive efficiency, 5 for 5 in the red zone. Wake Forest 3 for 3. It didn't feel like Clemson was 5 for 5 in the red zone. 2 rushing and 2 passing. 28 points in the red zone. 2 for 2 field goals, no turnovers. 16 for 23 on third down. What's 16 for 23? 69% on third down. 69.5% on third down. Penalties, though. Look at those penalties. 120 yards total. 10 penalties, 120 yards. That is nuts, man. I can't believe that. 120 penalties. That is trash. When you got an offense that's already putting up 447 yards, and then you give them 120 more in penalties. Wow. Chat says most on Wiggins. Steven says 4-0, baby. Get over it. Most were pass interferences. Lee gets in. Lee Harden, welcome in. Wake Forest has a veteran offensive team, and Clemson was out some starters at defensive back. We're out. Let's make this known. They were out one starter. One starter. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot going for them right now. Sheridan Jones out, which means they had 2 non-true freshman cornerbacks. This is going to be the true test for Clemson for the entire season. We need to prepare our minds for this. I'm meaning cornerbacks. Makuba safety. But yeah, you're right. Makuba also out. Every win can't be pretty, Steven says. Every win can't be pretty. Going back to the efficiency numbers, one fumble loss for both teams. Some reason I can't remember the fumble. What was the fumble? Was it a fumble recovery? No, nobody had a fumble recovery. So I guess they're saying there was a fumbled loss that wasn't recovered. I guess was there a fumble? I can't hard for me to remember on the fly. 14.3 yards per completion. 78 yards after the catch. 25 total first downs. Wake Forest 6 penalty first downs. DJ fumbled, but they got it back. Okay, got it. Got it. Advanced stats. Let's see. Big play yards. 12 big plays for 346 yards. 10 big plays for Wake Forest. What is percentage of plays run from opponent's side of the field? 53% on the opponent's side of the field, 50% on the opponent's side of the field for Wake. Leverage rate, percentage of non-passing downs, 64% non-passing downs. Man, towards the end, Wake Forest 68% non-passing downs. That makes a lot of sense because man, did it not seem like that Wake Forest could just run behind a pile of dudes and just get 7 yards every single time? Clemson 10 of 11 short passing, 8 of 13 medium passing, 8 of 17 deep passing. Power rushing, rushes with with 2 or less to go. So 78% success power rushing. And they had an 86%. The power rushing, man. Run stuffed. Only 6 runs stuffed. 13%. Wake Forest had 9. That's a concern for me too. It's like Clemson allows way too many runs to get stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Percentage of successful rushes based on yards. Lee says, was currently in Canada. I could only listen to the game and was about to have a heart attack in Calgary. Woo! Yeah. What a game. At least this isn't a loser support group. QB progression. I never even look at these charts at all. I guess this is where he's stringing together drives. This play right here, 3rd down and 9. Okay, 3rd down and 9 on the Wake Forest 44, right before halftime. EJ Williams, only catch of the day. Passes to the left, complete for 12 yards. It was a back shoulder kind of play to the sideline. That was a miracle catch because EJ has been not very good this year. And if he doesn't drop them, DJ misses him or he misses him, or they're just out of his reach or thrown out of his, overthrown as a throwaway. He hasn't had a lot of success, and he converted a 1st down, which is critical. Three big rushing plays. 9 big passing plays. 8 for Wake Forest, 8 big passing plays, 2 big rushing plays. Penalties. So penalties on Clemson, false start, personal foul. Adam Randall pulled that guy's helmet or pulled the guy's face mask. Holding not called. Delay a game, false start. Okay, that's offensive penalties. Okay, I see how they break it down now. Defensive penalties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pass interferences. Let's see. Toriano Pride, Fred Davis, Nate Wiggins. Holding here, so we'll call that Nate Wiggins. Wiggins. 4 interferences or 3 interferences, 1 holding on Nate Wiggins. 2 on Pride, 1 on Davis. Don Play says, Morgan, my guy. Don Play, welcome. Defense looks as bad as the offense used to, and the offense look as good as the defense used to. What do you know, Mason? We just completely changed it all up on us here. Defense. Oh, he said it twice. Sorry. Good one, Garnet. Where's Garnet at? Garnet Lee. Go DJ. That's my DJ. Eric Simpkins says, hope the medical staff is ready. Garnet says we needed XT today. Actually, what made me even happier than DJ coming up clutch, that we could possibly grab both the number 1 and number 2 recruit in the country in 2025. 2025. Hunter, you're way ahead of me on that, man. I hadn't even looked at 2025. Colin says, yo. Look at that championship ring, Colin. Interesting stats here. Interesting game. Man, what a game between Clemson and Wake Forest. One where Clemson could have easily lost, but come out with the win. Pretty crazy. Looking at some of the things on the board, Due West says we needed a game like this. Everything that happened on both sides of the ball will help us down the road. Losing today would have been disastrous, but winning the way we did is a huge boost of confidence. We need a healthy defensive backfield next week versus NC State. Our guys got to get rest while our youngsters got a baptism by fire without costing a loss. Never loved a light bulb. Bill says, never loved a tight end more than I did today. What a beautiful pass by DJ to Davis Allen to go up and catch that ball for a special touchdown. Not only good technique, but catching with his hands and then shielding his ball away from being tackled awkwardly. Held onto the ball. Great job. John gets in, says, love the show, the best. Thank you, John. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. We got about 10 minutes to go before I hang this up. We got this is the reaction show. Got about 10 minutes to go. I'm going to end it right at 1 hour and get more. Go back and watch the. I guess I'm going to go watch some of these 3:30 games that are out that I haven't even tuned into because I've been so shocked by Clemson in that game. Looking at the scores from around the country right now, Florida up on Tennessee 14-10 with 8 minutes to go in the second half. Texas up on Texas Tech 17-14 with 4 minutes to go in the second half. Middle Tennessee Middle Tennessee right now beating the crap out of Miami. Number 25 Miami, 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. They're up 24-3 and they have the ball. What is going on in Miami? Oregon losing right now 6-10 to Washington State with 13 to go. Tulsa and Ole Miss tied 14-14. Big game of the night in the SEC, Arkansas versus Texas A&M. For the Big 12 or Big 10, Wisconsin versus Ohio State. For the Big 12, Kansas State and Oklahoma. Wow. Miami getting beat. Ngata with a great game, finally. Billy says Miami getting stomped. I cannot express how exciting it would be for Clemson to come away with a win like this and the Miami Hurricanes to walk away with a loss to Middle Tennessee State. That would be great. Hunter says, I say that because the top recruit live in Charlotte. Let's see. You know what, Hunter? I really, to be honest with you, I do the spreadsheet for myself to try to keep track. I've really only done 2020, uh, 2023, 2024. I really have not even looked at 2025. So you have Davis Sanders, offensive tackle from Providence Day School, 5-star. He's rated a 1.0 for 24/7 Sports, 6'6", 255. Not many guys get that 1.0. And then you have Elijah Griffin, Savannah Christian Preparatory, Savannah, Georgia, 5-star, 6'3.5", 270. So what you're telling me is, Hunter, I need to go ahead and do videos on these guys, even though it's 2 years out. Interesting. Mason says, watch, Clemson's going to drop. Billy says, Middle Tennessee State moving the ball. Oh, boy. Middle Tennessee State, got to watch out. Mr. Spacely says on Twitter, never put any disrespect on DJ's name again. Put some respect on my name. I got to be honest with you, though. That touchdown catch from Brandon Spector was pure luck. I mean, he got that ball popped in his hand. He didn't even know. He didn't even know. Houston on Twitter says, I need a cigarette after that game. Whew. Ron Wells on YouTube says, trying to remember a game like this in the past. Miami triple overtime loss comes to mind. William Murray says, these days, any video on 10th grade and below is definitely gray area. I know what you say. Hey, by the way, I'm looking at your hat. Is that a what kind of hat is that on your photo there, Murray? I want to say it looks like an army hat, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't fully see that. Yeah, I would say It's very hard, man. When you watch film, when Alan and Houston and I get together and watch film, it is so hard because you see a guy who just lights it up on the field in high school, and then you start to realize, oh, they play in, a terrible region in their state. So then you start to question everything, like especially with some of these defensive linemen, offensive linemen. It's like, wow, it is so hard because I mean, a lot of times these offensive linemen, defensive linemen are blowing guys up, and it really is like because they're playing against little kids like me out there. William Murray, 82nd Airborne. If you were in the 82nd Airborne, thank you for your service. I served in the 1st Cavalry when I was in Iraq and in 3rd Signal. And also in reserve, I was in 324th Signal out of Clemson and then eventually Greenville. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your support of the military, um, and for being a part of the show for sure. But yeah, you're right though. I mean, it's so hard to evaluate somebody on film alone. That's why I really like what Clemson does. First of all, Clemson's not going to offer a ton of people unless they show interest in the university. There's a ton of schools out there that put out a an offer to like Tennessee, for example, 400 something offers. Guys never even visited campus, don't even know what the stadium looks like in person. I think that's completely wrong way of doing recruiting. Georgia, other people do it. Georgia, Alabama, not so much anymore. They've kind of toned down the number of offers that they do. Dabo Swinney, obviously one of the ones that holds in more than not, but he offers to the spots that are available. Unless there is someone and he offers to shown interest too. So if you have 2 5-star guys that have both shown up, like the quarterbacks, DJ Lagway and gosh, his name is I'm losing his name right now. Let me DJ Lagway and Jaden Davis. So you have Jaden Davis, DJ Lagway, both shown really, I wouldn't necessarily say equal amount of interest, but they've both came to camp. Lagway's come on an unofficial, so they both have shown equal amount or similar amount of interest. So there is really only one offense or quarterback position that you're going to give out, but you're going to offer both of them because they've given you return investment. You know what I'm saying? Clemson's not going to just offer you given no investment at all. And a lot of people just get so agitated with that, especially Clemson fans. I don't understand it. Like it makes sense to offer the guys that are invested and want to even come see downtown Clemson. I mean, would you want your kid to go to a university they've never even seen? No. You're paying money to IPTAY. You want them to spend all this money on a guy that doesn't even want to come to campus? No. Big Love Entertainment just subscribe. Thank you so much, Big Love. Mason says 10th Mountain. Ooh, too cold for me, buddy. I was in Fort Drum, New York, 431st. William says, my man, Signal guy too. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I was a cable dog. So I was 17 years old, dumb as rocks, and then I got smart in the Army. Came back and got an MBA from Clemson and on the GI Bill. So, I tell anybody, man, take advantage of that GI Bill if you can, but um not that you need a degree to be successful in life, but I mean, hey, if it's gonna be free and they're gonna pay you, that's what I did. I got a buddy, the buddy John, actually, another viewer, John, was in the 82nd as well. So big props to big props to all the veterans out there that watch this show. Again, this show, myself, Houston, and Allen are all Clemson grads. Houston and Allen were smart enough to get in the first time, so they got undergrad degrees. Houston got an MBA. I got an MBA. So I went to Clemson after the fact. I graduated from Anderson University, played soccer for 1 year after coming back from Iraq, and then graduated. And then all the like 5 years went by, and I just always regretted never going to Clemson. And I knew I had the GI Bill, so I applied for the MBA and got in, and graduated in 2018 with my MBA. So all three of us on the show, on the radio, we're Clemson grads. So we really love Clemson, of course. But again, I'm a veteran. So, I like to say the show's veteran owned and operated, or at least produced and operated and hosted. So, big shout out to everybody for sure, that has served, and everybody that's a big time Clemson fan. We want to put out Clemson content that you love and enjoy, and want to come back to. But we're also fans. We don't want to be like the media that pretends to be neutral. We want to be biased. We're a Clemson show. We want to be. We want to talk about Clemson. So if you're new to the show, your channel, or just tuning in, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Houston and I are going to focus on YouTube. I originally had everybody doing YouTube and then everybody doing the radio show. And really, we only get an hour after commercials. It's only like 42 minutes on the radio. So what we've decided is Houston and I are going to focus solely on YouTube. We're going to do videos on YouTube, me and him. And then Alan and I are going to do focus on radio. So when you tune in on 105.5, 97.5 The Roar, Thursday night after Walt Deptula and Road Rage, 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursday nights, I'll be on the radio with Alan. And then also I stay there. I'm in the morning. I do Mickey's show, Mickey Plyler, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then I go into work. So, but I do the morning show and the afternoon show on Thursday. So if you want to listen to the radio portion, if you're in the upstate or you're listening on the app, you can catch me there. But then on YouTube, again, I'm going to try. Houston and I are going to try to do specific YouTube stuff too, so we can kind of keep the balance in. Mason says DJ looked like he was finally stepping into his throws, looking at other wide receivers, not just the primary one. Yeah, I think he did great. Huffer Billy says he's an 86 grad. William says good stuff. Happy for you. Thank you. Thank you too, man. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to give a shout out to my daughter. They won their softball game Wednesday night. It was a heated battle between Fountain Inn and Simpsonville, but they won. All right, so we're past the hour here. I don't want to go any further because wifey's coming home. And I want to go and watch that Florida-Georgia game, or excuse me, Florida-Tennessee game. Let's check in on the score real quick and refresh. Florida with the ball past half field, midfield, 14-10 right now leading. Texas up 24-14 with only 12 seconds to go. Middle Tennessee did not score again. Unfortunately, Billy. Middle Tennessee now still up 24-3 on Miami. Miami is at midfield. So a couple of games out there to watch. Let's see. Coming up for the week again, Houston and I will try to put out a video on Monday. We'll try to put out a video on Wednesday, and then on Thursday I'll do the show, and then we'll be ready for that North Carolina State game on Saturday. I appreciate everybody getting in, and we'll see you Tiger fans at the top